My name is Jason Impey and I am the director, one of the producers, the editor. I actually played Charles Hess and I am the writer in the Psychopath version as well, but I'm credited as Joe Newton, which is my alias name, which I use sometimes in filmmaking.
Hi, my name's Kemal Yildirim. I am the producer and DOP on Psychopaths, aka Sex Slave, aka Tortured, aka Deranged. And I also played the character Doug Hansen, who's the kind of psychotic cop character, because everyone in this film seems to be a psychopath.
I was inspired to make this film because most of my favourite films, and a lot of films that I love, are video nasties and exploitation and grindhouse films. And it's a cinema and genre that I love. It's not really done anymore. And I make films I'd like to see, to be honest. Any film I make I'm a fan of these films anyway, so I use that to my advantage sometimes, I think. But I'm inspired to make it because I love films. I'm a filmmaker, obviously, and I just wanted to make a exploitation film. I'd been trying to do it for years with a bit of success, but not proper exploitation.
Originally, while I was making a giallo, I was directing a giallo of my own called Penance. Jason come forward to me with this really cool idea about wanting to tell this kind of on the run, rape and revenge film. And the way he pitched it to me, he was going to tell it in kind of a little bit like Pulp Fiction, where it started at the end and then went back to the beginning and went back and forth a bit. So I really liked the idea of that. And then we kind of went into pre-production of what was then Tortured, aka Sex Slave. And that was it really, yeah. So Jason got me involved as a DOP on that and producer on that.
It became exploitation, so there was Penance and Tortured, aka Sex Slave, together exploitation. That consisted of 4 fake horror film trailers.
So, the problems with the film, the reason there's so many different versions is because of the nature of the film. I mean, it was written really dark. It was shot really, with a dark tone to it, and I think everyone really picked up on that and made it even darker. So, I mean, we've had problems with censorship. We're probably one of the only films ever to be banned off Amazon. Not the only film, but one of them. So we've been banned off Amazon with a cut that was called Deranged, which one of the distributors decided to do.
So I took Tortured on its own, equipped with my Nazi trailer, and had that as the ultimate uncut version. Had loads of trouble, but I have managed to gain distribution on it with some extras after battling. I also did a slightly cut version, which I took the Nazi trailer out and I took some of the kind of R-rated sexual content out so that it wouldn't get banned, and managed to get it in the hands of a distributor, which was seen by a bigger distributor. It wasn't they didn't like it, but I was told that the tone, the dialogue, the whole film was just disgusting and too much in general. It was too independent for them and really nasty. Almost obscene. So with that on board, I hate cutting. I'm a big fan of uncut films and gritty, grimy stuff. So I was gutted, but I was desperate to get my film out there. So I then went to the cutting room again and I chipped about 10 minutes out. But because I was so gutted, because to me was shot around, it was chipped so much, I changed the title to Escaped Convict, so it was almost a different film. And it was still good because it was like exploitation still, because I've got the cheesy new title and the graphic card. And then I have put, because it ran short, it was only about 50 minutes long because it was so cut, so I put it with my other film Tormented, which is 40 minutes long, to make a new double bill that hopefully is coming up.
Because it's developed so much over the years. It started off as a kind of just a rape and revenge film with a zombie element to it. Real trash cinema style, really. The exploitation cinema 70s and 80s, because it also had this subplot that really didn't go anywhere, which was like a reference to, Fight for Your Life and stuff like that, where these idiotic cops can't actually do anything and they're chasing the characters of Kirk and Quaid. And now it's developed into actually carrying on their timeline, the Coppers timeline, where they're actually trying to chase Kirk and Quaid, but really they're after Kirk, because now he's more of the central character, really. So it's developed from being a kind of a normal rape revenge movie into a kind of cop on the run, trying to catch psychopaths type movie. So it's developed a lot.
And then what I decided to do, because of my typical exploitation self, is I inserted some X-rated material that I'd shot with the actress Michelle Young, aka Amber Lee, and that was mainly for my Nazi film. I did a day's filming for cutaways in a Nazi trailer, but I also had a kind of adult film called Naked Nazi, which again was a spin-off from my Nazi subgenre films I was doing back then. And so I've revisited that, and because it was a pickup day kind of, and I've actually inserted some of the harder material to make a version called Just Sex Slave, which is my naughty version of it, if you like, the XXX version.
And Psychopaths is the last journey for it, because Psychopaths is going to be the ultimate one that Jason wanted to tell. And for me it was cool because I got to act a little bit more in this one, which was always fun in Jason's films, because you get to do really good stuff like slap women and, you know, see naked women and stuff, which is cool.
The 7th and final version of this film, and I'm never going to revisit this bloody film again, it's become cursed, is called Psychopaths. And it's had a few years to get out there a bit, to gain some reviews, to have it shown, for me to get feedback. And there are things that always bugged me. A lot of things bugged me about all my past films, but I did want to do more of the Charles and Doug subplot. It originally was a subplot because it was again a homage to these dodgy random subplots of these films that I love. But I wanted originally, but I could never do this, was Doug and Charles, the two coppers, were supposed to catch Kirk and Quaid in the pub just before they kidnapped the girl, when they're caught red-handed and they pull their guns out, and there's a standoff, like a Western standoff, because I love the whole Western genre as well, and everyone was just caught in the middle of the pub, and they were supposed to shoot the pub up, and all the innocent people getting shot in the middle. We were throwing tables over, and me and Kamel were like battling these two escaped convicts, and we were going to get killed in the line of action. That kind of originally was my vision, which is why partly this subplot was created, but the original shoot, there was no time for that, and there wasn't really a budget for that.
Well, I mean, producing this film has always been a headache due to the nature of some of the stuff, and me and Jason were really adamant that we really wanted to stay true to exploitation cinema and not do what people usually do and say we're going to make an exploitation film and then just completely shy away from it. We really wanted to show, you know, gore, tits, everything, you know, and to have a real element to the film that was really sleazy. And we achieved that because obviously the film was banned. I mean, we held a screening in London of the film, which was the premiere of which was known as Exploitation then, the two films back to back. And we had 5 people walk out because Tortured was so bad. They were disgusted with the tone and the content of it.
Now I'm doing Psychopaths, I've actually had the chance to make the film that I originally wanted to make. I put the zombie genre in there originally, the zombie subplot, because I was homaging the exploitation films and I was crossing a lot of the subgenres. I had the Nazi fake trailer, I had this zombie plot, I had the rape and revenge going on, I had the sleaze, I had everything to make I had all these different subgenres of the original Video Nasty outcry and put into one. But really, I've been able to look at it again, put it in the cut room floor, cut the real obscene R-rated material out so it's not like too obscene to get released, cut the zombie subplot out and make it a straight, gritty, exploitation, sexual drama, action-y kind of film, which, you know, it really is not really a proper horror. It's more of a drama, sexual film, which is kind of, it's better, it works better, it's stronger. I've been able to develop Kirk's character, which is fantastic because Kirk was the first character I came up with for the film. And when I wrote Kirk, I had Rami Hilmi, who plays him, in mind because I had been working with him and we've been talking about it.
So working with the cast and crew has been an adventure, as always. I mean, making the types of films that me and Jason like to make, like the exploitation films, is always a challenge because not everybody understands the cinema that we're trying to tell, but also just the subject matter is always so dark. So you always, you're conflicting with actors all the time that struggle to pull out the performances that you need. But it's been fun. I mean, Rami Hilmi's great to work with. He's always fun and a laugh, and his character is strong within the film. We're going to be working with Helen Clifford, which is good because I've used Helen a lot before, and she's a talented actress.
He's managed to get Helen Clifford to come down to be in it to play Janet Well, who is actually, it's become quite important to me because this is a crucial scene that I really want for Doug, because Doug Hanson has become quite a big character, which I like, and this scene really shows his true colours, because I like anti-heroes. Doug isn't so bad until this scene. When you see this scene in the film, you realise that Doug is actually more than just a vigilante. He's a little bit of a bent cop and a rogue, so that's important for his character. And what's good about Helen Clifford is I did a film called Tormented with them, and that basically is a torture film with Rami and Helen. So I'm actually able to use clips from that. So it looks like Kirk is torturing her from the past.
It must be, it's quite strange after 3 years being here. Though it doesn't feel like it's gone that long. I mean, it feels like it was yesterday when we shot that, believe it or not, right? 3 years passed. But there you go, who would ever noticed, after 3 years from Tortured, back on set again, finishing the movie in the same set. I remember that. It's fun, though the weather is different, but it'll match.
My wife now, Sharon Impey, has stepped on board to do a few roles actually. She's playing Maria Morgan, who is Kirk's sister, and she's got a cool scene with him which opens the film now. The film now opens with Doug and Charles expanded characters here in the news report, which was done by Christine Aberhart, which is my mother-in-law, and then Maria Morgan and Kirk Morgan together when Charles and Hess make an arrest, which leads into the new scenes, which is where Helen Clifford's character comes in. But Sharon has also stepped up to be a camera operator. So now the camera operators list consists of numerous people. And she's also done stills photography so that I can create some new artwork and gain some stills from this film, as I haven't got any stills. As I was saying, Psychopaths is a totally different version. It's a unique version. To me, it's the definitive director's cut. And out of all the versions, Psychopaths is my vision. That's the one that's my favourite one. That's the one that I present the best.